Good afternoon, all aviation fans. Welcome back to Portland Operations. Today we're here at Portland International Airport again because we're obviously called Portland Operations, so we're obviously in Portland. But anyway, today we have a special event as of last time. If you guys have seen my previous videos, one of them included a canceled order for Air Europea, which changed into a Lufthansa 787-9. And the Boeing World Cup airplane, which is the 777-200 ER that departed here from Portland earlier on my previous videos. Here we have again another Boeing aircraft on the way. It's a 787-9. The last time I checked, it was currently above like Moses Lake, but I haven't checked since then, so it could be on the way. In the meantime, we have an air arrival first, and we'll check that. But right now, for here, we just had a 737 MAX 8 or MAX 9 just pull in, and a 737-800 right there. Also included is a Alaska Horizon ERJ 175. And I could be mistaken, but in the distance, in the very far one, it looks like we have a 737. I could be mistaken, please correct me if I did. And then we have ERJ 175s after that, a 767-200, a A319, and ERJ 175, and another 767 after that. And we got the Oregon Air National Guard base with their F-15s. And we have an arrival, and it looks like it is a 767. For UPS. That was a planter landing. As the UPS Boeing 767-200 or 300 freighter gets off the runway, here we have an Alaska Horizon ERJ 175 that's departing. Looks like we have an engine startup because I can tell by the foul smell of the 787, or not the 787, the 737. Looks like this engine startup is coming from the 737-800, which, if you guys cannot tell the difference between the Max 8 and a Max 9, or Max 8 or Max 9 and a 737-800 or 900, then the Max 9 has a little cone at the end. So in this case, that would be the Max 9 right there, the one I'm currently on, and right next to it would be the 800 or 900. Looks like the aircraft behind is a 900 ER, and the one in front of us is the Max 9. There's a train for the TriMet train, which goes here to Portland International Airport. And out in the distance, I just realized it now that you can actually see some more aircraft. It looks like there just be ERJ 175s and 737s, Maxes, Maxes, and just normals. And I'm guessing what behind that is probably a not 737, an A321 for American. Looks like we have an arrival on our runway right now, but it's too far away to tell, so as of right now, y'all can just sit back and enjoy just staring at an Alaska 737-900ER and a 737 MAX 9 and the Portland Air Traffic Control. But we'll get back to you in just a couple seconds or two, or a minute at least. Also at the same time, looks like we have a pushback by an Alaska Horizon ERJ-175 or an Alaska SkyWest ERJ-175. Now that the aircraft's a lot, not a lot, but a little closer, we can try to identify it here. Looks like it is an A321. It is an A321 for American. Looks like the Alaska Horizon ERJ-175 is going to be preparing for departure. Currently taxiing. And also, what a coincidence, look like we have a helicopter. If I can try to find it up in the camera here. There it is. Looks like our 737-900ER is pushing back. While our 737-900ER pushes back, our Alaska Horizon ERJ-175 is gonna look, I'm gonna guess, doing an immediate departure. It looks like it is not going to do an immediate departure. We'll be back for part 2. Welcome back for part 2. Our Alaska Horizon ERJ-175 just did an immediate departure. There it goes, and previously our Alaska 737-900ER did a just push back. So there it is. Looks like our Alaska 737-900ER is going to speed taxi back to its gate. There's a light rail train again, or the TriMet train. More updates onto the 787-9 coming here to Portland. It is about 22 minutes away at least. It was doing touch and goes in Moses Lake, and it's currently on its way now. As you guys can see on the camera, looks like we have an American Eagle ERJ-175. This is an American Eagle ERJ-175 that's departing to Phoenix. And our international flight that will be departing here will be in Iceland Air's A321neo. Which unfortunately will be, I'm pretty sure will be departing on the other runway, but we'll still see it from here when it gets up into the air. Updates on the 787-9 is that it's just above Rufus, the town of Rufus, and near the Dalles right now. So we'll watch that come down in just a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, more like 10, 15, 20 minutes-ish. But in the meantime, here we have an American Eagle ERJ-175. As the American Eagle just departed, looks like we have a Alaska coming into the cargo bay here. Looks like it's a 737-800. Looks like we have a Southwest 737. Yep, just a 737-700 that just departed. 737-800 engine shut down. I've realized I haven't shown you guys any of the Oregon Air National Guard base today, so there it is. Looks like we have one of the F-15s, or so they're probably doing some maintenance or something in there. Looks like an Air Canada Dash 8 Q400 just departed. We will be back for part 3. Welcome back to part 3, everyone, the final part of this video. So I had to wait for a little bit, but it's 3:44, 45-ish. The 787 is very close now, but perfect timing because now the Icelandair A321neo is departing back to Reykjavik. Or I very much apologize for people who have the Iceland ethnicities if I pronounced that wrong, or I apologize if I did pronounce that wrong. But there it is. There goes the Icelandair, and we have a Primera Boeing 737-800 that'll be preparing to depart soon too. Also, the lights of an incoming aircraft just appeared in the horizon, so I'm guessing that's a 787. But if it's not, then we'll keep waiting. But as of right now, I'm hoping that's a 787. It looks like the Primera is waiting on something. Don't know what. Looks like the prime air is probably waiting on the incoming aircraft, so right now we might as well just get on to the incoming aircraft. It looks like the incoming aircraft is not the 787, but instead it's that looks like a United Express ERJ 175. According to flight radar, the Boeing 787 is officially here, so watch that land. We'll watch it land after this Alaska Horizon ERJ 175. The Boeing 787 is officially here. We'll watch it land and we'll watch the prime air depart, and then that will be the end of our video. There it is, the Boeing 787-9. Boeing 787 came from San Antonio Air Force Base and was in the LOT livery, which LOT is a Polish Airways. I'm guessing this is probably a repainting, or it came in for maintenance, so as the lot is going to the paint hangars, or the Boeing Center area, the Prime Air 737-800 is departing. We're going to extend it a little bit more after the ERJ 175 departs. That'll be the end of our video. As of always, thank you for joining us today in Portland Operations. And I hope you subscribe to his channel. It helps me and helps me in the aviation community here in Portland a lot. It means a lot to me. And as always, if you haven't checked out my aviation news, I highly recommend go checking those out. Haven't checked out my rare aviation videos yet, the playlist, I also recommend go checking that out. And as always, if you haven't checked out my YouTube shorts, then I also recommend you go checking those out. And again, as I'm saying, thank you for joining Portland Operations, and we'll see you next time after this Alaska Horizon ERJ 175 departs.